Netflix just made the biggest move in their history, a deal to buy Warner Brothers, take over HBO, and absorb one of the most legendary film libraries on the planet. If this actually goes through, we're talking about one company controlling Netflix, HBO, DC, Harry Potter. I mean, we're talking a whole archive of insane movies. Today, I'm breaking down three things that everybody is arguing about: how this Netflix Warner deal actually works, why this could really be bad for us physical media collectors, and why Paramount Skydance just jumped in like double dutch to fight the deal with a hostile takeover, all for their own gain. Yes, we're going to break it all down. Don't forget to hit that like, share, and subscribe. Merch down below. I love these shirts, man.
You guys got fat while everybody starved on the street. It's my turn. You come with me. I'm at the Plaza Hotel. You're welcome. You're all welcome.
What the Netflix Warner Brothers deal really is? All right, quick, clean breakdown. Netflix has agreed to acquire Warner Brothers film studio and streaming division, which includes HBO and Max. But here's the twist. The old school cable channels, CNN, TNT, Discovery, Animal Planet, those get spun off into a separate new company called Discovery Global, which means Netflix doesn't have to deal with the declining cable business. They just get the crown jewels. The keys to the vote for Warner Brothers Film Studio, HBO, Max, DC, Harry Potter, Fantastic Beasts, you get the picture. Warner's classic library goes back to the 1930s, and they'll also acquire all of Turner's old movie catalogs. That literally instantly turns Netflix into one of the biggest studios in Hollywood history, and easily one of the most powerful entertainment companies in the world. But here is where the trouble starts. The US government has already said the deal is getting a full antitrust review because Netflix, HBO, Warner Brothers might just give them too much power in streaming, too much power in content, and too much power and influence over how Americans watch movies. Studios are already warning that this much consolidation could mean fewer movies getting made, shorter theatrical runs because Netflix wants to get their greedy hands on every single movie and throw it on their service, and fewer jobs across the entire industry. So yes, this is massive and it's very controversial. Now, what does that mean for physical media collectors? Well, brace yourself because I think what I'm about to say is really going to hit hard. Warner Brothers has been one of the last major studios that really still cares about physical media. They put effort into their 4K restorations, their 4K releases, deep cut classic catalogs, and of course, the Warner Archive line. They've supported boutique labels and released obscure titles that streaming platforms don't even care or acknowledge. Netflix does not operate like that. They want engagement. They want subscriptions. They want your money in their pocket. They don't care about discs on the shelves, and they never really have. Industry analysts basically see three possible futures if Netflix wins this deal. The best case scenario, blockbusters still get their 4K releases, but I mean, we're just talking the huge blockbusters. Maybe the Warner Archives keep releasing some of those classics, but Netflix is not going to drain the money that Warner Brothers does on these restorations. Nothing changes overnight, but in the long term, it could get a little shaky. Scenario number two, only the big franchises survive. Netflix might continue discs, but for the most part, it's not going to be any of the obscure titles. It'll be more of their bigger titles. Those mid-budget movies, the classic 1930s, 40s, 50s films, those random cult horror classics, those small dramas that collectors like us never forget, those could just become streaming only and we'll never get a chance to own them. And we have the worst case scenario. The vote goes dark. Netflix goes all in, fully streaming first. More movies skip theaters entirely. The disc pipeline shrinks dramatically. And the deep catalog that collectors like ourselves absolutely love become locked behind one subscription with no guarantee on how they look or their performances. And this is what scares people like me. Streaming catalogs change all the time, licensing expire, titles vanish, some films never make a comeback, and we still have a river of films that are still locked away behind VHS, never mind only being able to get them on a streaming service. Physical media collectors like myself, we protect the movies. We love them and we still buy them. Netflix, they don't have that mindset, nor do they really care. So, no, as far as collectors go, you're not crazy for worrying. If Netflix owns Warner's library, disc may just become a real niche luxury, not a cultural standard. And this means higher prices. While they may release some of their stuff to boutique labels, they are going to charge an arm and a leg, which means what, people? Higher prices for physical media releases. Now, what this means for workers and the industry, think about it. Whenever a corporate deal goes through and it's definitely worth over 70, 80 billion, there's always one word that follows: layoffs. Even before the ink dries, unions are worried that the merge of this size will literally cut development departments, shrink theatrical releases, reduces budgets even on great scripts and blockbuster movies, and consolidates roles that used to be existing across multiple studios. Inside Warner Brothers Discovery, employees have already went through layoffs under the VPs, and now the fear is, if Netflix owns us, do they need our entire staff? Now, look, Netflix claims they want to keep most of the people, but history always tells us otherwise. Notice the key word: most of those people. Every giant media merger from the last decade eventually resulted in deep job cuts and layoffs. There is always a domino effect. If Netflix sends more Warner movies straight to streaming, then movie theaters, they take a bigger hit. A smaller box office means less work for projectionists, editors, visual effects artists, sound teams, construction for studio building, costume designers, makeup artists, PR workers. I mean, every part of the studio ecosystem might just go down in flames. This isn't just a Hollywood problem. This touches the entire entertainment economy. Why Paramount Skydance is fighting back? Well, here's where the story gets a little wild. The group Paramount Skydance, led by David Ellison, they just launched a hostile all-cash offer to outbid Netflix to buy Warner Brothers themselves. Their official reasons are as followed. 1. They're offering shareholders more money. Their bid is larger, cleaner, and doesn't involve spinning off cable networks. 2. They have a better chance of passing government reviews. They're basically saying Netflix plus Warner is a monopoly, but us merging with Warner, that's fine. Which I don't know if I kind of find that true. They want regulators to see themselves as the safer, more traditional studio option. Number 3, they're better for creators. Paramount is pushing the idea that they'll protect theatrical releases, support creative talent, and avoid putting every movie behind one algorithm-driven subscription. But let's be honest, at the end of the day, this is all about the power. Whoever controls Warner Brothers controls one of the last giant irreplaceable libraries in Hollywood history. And nobody wants Netflix walking away with all that IP unchallenged. This is not a moral fight. This is just more of a corporate turf war. So, in the end, where does this really leave us? If Netflix wins, you probably still get the bigger 4K blockbuster movies, but you won't get those deep classic cuts, the films that redefined history. And we are at risk of physical media literally almost disappearing into nothing. If Skydance and Paramount win, well, you're really just swapping one major studio for another. The consolidation problem doesn't go away, it just changes hands. But I will say Paramount does care more about physical media releases, theatrical releases, and they do give out bigger budgets than Netflix will for a movie. Every time the industry gets smaller, we literally lose choices. Fewer studios, fewer movies in the theaters, fewer physical releases, and fewer jobs. This isn't just studio drama, it's the future on how we watch movies and being dedicated to being locked behind closed doors. If Netflix really wins this one and the government somehow says that this won't be a monopoly, and I think the only way they're going to be able to do that is if they do let those other cable channels spin off into their own thing, they might kind of look at that as, well, they won't be as big, but let's really face facts. They will be a huge giant in the streaming service. They will almost be right there knocking out everybody from Disney to Paramount to everyone. And on top of that, they will spike those prices so high that the base level with ads, I can guarantee you, with ads, will start at least $60 a month, with every plan from there just going up. And I can guarantee you the one that you have now with the highest 4 screens at one time, 4K, Dolby Vision, all that will be at least $110 a month. I am telling you, that is what is going to happen. If you think that Netflix really has that kind of money and doesn't need to recoup that at some point, or Paramount themselves, you're wrong. They always need to recoup that money. So that means higher prices. And that is going to literally drive down the market. And, this might all blow up in Netflix's face as well if they do get it, because a lot of people might say, I'm not paying that much. And a lot more people will go towards the Paramount Plus and the Disney side. And then people will start scrambling for those Warner Brother movies that they want to watch on physical media, because some people don't care whether they buy a DVD or a Blu-ray or 4K. As long as they have access to the movies, most collectors or most people will settle for whatever they can find. So anyways, let me know what you think. I know it's a little bit of a long video, but hey, this I'm really passionate about, and I don't want to see physical media literally just take the darkest turn. It's already getting up there in price. So let me know what you think. Much love. See you later. Peace.
Thank you. You love me. You really love me. You're not going anywhere.